And today we are privileged to host one of the most popular young coffee producer in Africa. He actually won one of the best coffee in Africa last year, 2024, right?
Yes.
And his coffee has been consumed by millions of people globally. So let's all clap our hands together to welcome the one and the only David Maguta. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Maybe I haven't introduced yourself well. You can tell us a bit about yourself. And we start from there.
I'm David Ngiboine.
Okay.
Maguta is my surname. I'm a coffee producer.
Sure.
And exporter. The company is Maguta Estate Coffee and Tea Company Limited.
Okay.
And the base farm is Maguta Estate.
And how did you get to your coffee farming?
How I got into coffee farming was out of curiosity.
Sure.
I keep saying that because I was working here in Nairobi.
Yeah.
And then I was sending money home for labor.
Sure.
For picking. Because the coffee farm was always there.
So you were doing something totally different.
Totally different.
Which was?
I was in marketing. And I was working here in Nairobi. And my mom was pulling me in a way to...
So it's a family thing?
It's a family... I can say it's a family thing.
Okay.
Because initially, I grew up there at the farm.
Okay.
Yeah, where the coffee is.
In Nyeri, that is?
In Nyeri.
Okay.
And then, school, it takes you out of Nyeri. It takes you out of home.
Sure.
It took me to Nairobi. And then, so my mom was trying to interest me in... I didn't realize it, but she was trying to interest me in coffee.
Yeah.
Or in farming, to try to make me have an idea of what to do other than employment.
Yeah.
So she told me, send money for labor and then we'll split the returns.
The cost and returns, yeah.
So when I sent, we're used to a salary.
Every month, manipulated to salary.
Money is coming in, money is coming in.
Yeah.
But I sent money for the labor cost. But I'm told, not yet. I think I sent in like March. Then I'm told, not yet.
Yeah.
December, not yet. I'm like, eh? So I think we got our money back like in March the next year.
Whoa.
Yeah. So then now I wanted to see like what we can do.
Okay.
To shorten that, because I used to drink coffee in the office every day.
Yeah, sure.
But I always thought that we're paying premium for this. And mind you, that time I was drinking instant coffee. So.
Oh my God.
So I was doing my costing and I was like, I'm buying Nescafe at 800 shillings, the glass one.
The glass one.
And I'm getting my money back when I sell coffee.
Yeah.
After a year. So I wanted to see how to shorten that. And that's how I got into coffee.
Now, from all that story, what is really inspired you to become a coffee producer?
I saw that the farm was there, So I had to add some value. So I got a grant from my mom to take ownership of the land.
Okay.
And get the licenses and all that. So I saw there's no way like around it. Like I needed to...
There's no shortcut.
To get my hands dirty. I needed to get into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a producer, what are some of the challenges have you faced in Kenya?
Well, in Kenya, we have an issue of... I can say from my point of view, we have as producers, we have an issue of information.
Sure.
So our information is funneled. And so we only have one source of information from like big corporations, things like that. People who are trying to sell us or to control us.
Yeah, sure.
Into what to produce. So we're told, use this, and we'll give.
And these are monopoly.
Yeah.
From the government.
I can't say it's the government. I can say it was initially, especially when I was starting out in 2018.
Yeah.
It was initially multinationals.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Could you walk us through the process of growing and harvesting coffee on your farm? Or some of the process that you have majorly focused on?
Okay. So, like growing coffee or...
Yeah, growing coffee, basically.
Okay. Yeah, so it takes, like we dig holes. You need to have the land.
Yeah. So how many acres actually
to have the land?
On that, how many acres?
You can have, the smallholders who have 500 trees.
Now, in David Maguta, how many acres do you guys have?
So the farm is like 11 acres.
11 acres, huh?
Yeah. And so far we have 6 acres under coffee.
Wow.
So It takes like 1 acre. It depends on the variety.
Yeah.
Ruiru, you can plant 1,000 trees in 1 acre.
Okay.
The SLs.
Sure.
Batian, you can plant 600 trees in 1 acre. So the spacing is more for the SLs.
Do you have all those variety?
Yes, we have the SLs, we have the Batian.
So you have SL, Batian,
Ruiru.
Which one have you majored on?
We mainly have Ruiru because that's what my late dad planted in bulk. He planted it when it was new, when the variety was new in the 1980s. So we've just been adding on. And this year we're adding on some geisha.
Okay.
Actually, the project is ongoing right now.
Geisha.
Yeah. We have some wild varieties.
Okay.
They were still trying to populate them, but we have some wild varieties.
Now, since you have talked about geisha, what's this thing unique about geisha? This World of Coffee Dubai, geisha was bidded at $10,000 per kg. What's unique about geisha?
Geisha has a unique taste profile.
Okay.
But to me,
it's overrated.
It has a unique taste profile. Let's just be honest. It has a unique taste profile if well cultivated and processed. I think what makes it expensive is its supply.
The supply.
Yeah. So if you get a good geisha, it's going to be really good. But you can also get a mediocre geisha.
But now you're getting to geisha projects.
Yeah. And we have them grafted with SLs.
Okay.
So I wanted them to grow faster so that they can grow in here in Kenya.
All right.
Yeah.
And in the processes, in Kenya, washed is majorly popular in Kenya, washed process.
Yes.
But in your farm, we have seen carbonic macellation, CM, and anaerobic as well. What led you to that?
Well, so I started in 2017, 2018, and then we had our first crop in 2019 that we sold as an estate.
Okay.
An estate has to be 5. At that time, it has to be a 5 acres and below.
Okay.
And above, sorry. So that means we have to produce something that's going to push us in the market. If not, it's going to be mixed up with everything. So we produced washed coffee like everyone else because I visited like almost every estate in Nyeri.
Yes. Actually, most of the Kenyan farmers, they do washed.
Yeah. So I also built a small washing station.
Okay.
I got an architect to do the design for me.
Okay.
I went I tried to make it too professional. That was I think one of my problems.
Okay.
So it was expensive to start. So I did the infrastructure of how to get the washing station. It follows gradient. There's a way it's done.
Sure.
And then when we produced our first washed coffee, we're told our coffee doesn't taste Kenyan.
Whoa.
Your coffee is not up to standard.
That was a breakthrough.
Kenyan. Not a breakthrough. It was like I couldn't get a good price for it.
Oh.
So because if you do a washed coffee and you want to sell it in the market, people want that punch of blackcurrant.
Yeah. So it was under.
Yeah, it was under.
Okay.
It wasn't under. It was different from what you'd get from a Kenyan.
Okay.
So if
in a positive way or in a negative
that time
way?
I didn't know if it was positive or negative. That time I didn't know. But if a generic green buyer is coming to buy from Kenya, they want to come and get blackcurrant, red currant, high acidity.
Yeah, sure.
That's Kenyan coffee, especially from here.
Yeah.
So I was told your coffee doesn't taste Kenyan, so it's not up to par. So I never got a good price for it.
Wow.
So I decided now, okay, we have the infrastructure, we have this, we have now the coffee. What should I do? So I thought of fermentation. So I tried to do more research on the processing.
Okay.
And then the same year, 2019, through Regine, there's a lady called Regine.
Yeah, she's a SCAR trainer.
Yeah. Somebody called Mikel came to visit me.
Who?
Someone called Mikel.
Okay, Mikel.
From Estonia.
Okay.
Came to visit me at the farm.
Okay.
And he came to volunteer. So he came and stayed like a month.
Wow.
So we spent a lot of time together. And I told him, he works for...
So he came with Regine?
At first, but for him, he wanted to come on his own.
So Regine is the one who introduced you to him?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he came and spent time with me at the farm. We spent the whole month.
Yeah.
But I told him that I need to learn fermentation. He's visited Colombia, those producing countries.
We learn every day.
Yeah. So he gave me a book.
Yeah.
I think he's a reader. He carried a book and he gave me a book called The Coffee Man.
Yeah, Sasha.
Yeah. So he told me, read this. I'm flying out on Friday. Imagine the last week is when he gives me the book. I'm flying out on Friday or Saturday, something like that.
Yeah.
You need to finish the book before I leave. So
he wanted to go back with the book.
Yeah, so he wanted to go back with the book and he gave it to me sometime that week. I don't remember. I think like Monday or Sunday.
Yeah.
And then I read it. Luckily, I'm a quick reader, so I read it really fast. By like Wednesday, Thursday, I was done. I had notes and I had a lot of questions.
Whoa.
So I asked him, like, you know anything from him? He's like, he even hasn't read the book. That's why he has to go with it and read it later on. So that sparked my curiosity.
Mm.
And then I started following. I didn't think, you read a book, you don't think you'll ever meet the person who
wrote the book.
So I, from the notes, I was trying to do my own processing the same way from that book.
Like now the processes.
Yes.
Anaerobic.
Yeah.
Your own ways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you have questions.
Yeah, sure.
Is it, do I turn? Do I cover? Those nitty-gritties.
How am I supposed to maneuver around it?
So I just got into Instagram and like, let me search this guy. Maybe I can find videos on YouTube or something.
Yes.
But
so you're looking for Sasha?
Yeah, so I looked for him. First I was looking for if there are videos.
For him explaining how you can maneuver around. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Then I saw there's a movie. There's a movie based on the book.
Sasha has done a movie?
Yeah, there's a movie based on the book.
Is he a main actor?
It's like a documentary, so yeah. He's a
okay.
Mm-hmm. Again, in the movie, the details are not there.
Oh, Sasha.
The details are, and it makes sense because
yes,
the movie, like
the documentation,
those small details, like no one wants to see that.
Yeah, sure.
They want to see the story and the success.
Yes,
so no one wants to see that.
So he's telling around how he started his own journey. He was a barista competitor in 2015. He won actually.
He won 2015.
Okay.
So I reached out to him on Instagram.
DM.
And
so that's how now you started looking for Sasha.
So I DM'd him and told him I want to learn about fermentation. I want to learn. So it took some time.
That guy is famous. Was he responding to your DMs?
It took some time, but he responded.
Okay.
But eventually he responded. I pushed him, like I would send messages. When I see his posted, when I see I saved his, the way someone posts and then you can save, get notified when this guy posts.
Yeah. On so Instagram. But then Instagram had that feature.
I think it had the feature. So I saved, whenever he posted, I would DM him.
Oh my God.
And he posts again, I DM him until I got, that's somebody maybe with a lot of DMs.
Yeah, sure.
So to get his attention, you need to push him to get him the notification when he's online.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's how I got the attention, and of course prayer. So
yeah, sure.
And he responded, and that's how I started. He came 1 year later.
Okay.
To the farm, and
so after that you started now talking with him.
Yeah, talking.
Okay.
And he purposed, and he came, and we started the fermentations, everything, the whole process.
So that's how Project Origin now started with Maguta.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, before that, what is coffee fermentation for those people who are watching us and they don't understand what coffee fermentation?
Coffee is a fruit initially.
Yes.
It needs to be cleaned.
Yeah.
For you to get the seed.
Yeah, sure.
To roast it.
Yeah.
So we have to clean as producers. Our function is to clean.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I'm saying this in like the bigger picture. What we're doing is we're cleaning the coffee to a point where it can be roasted.
Sure.
So coffee fermentation assists to clean by removing the sugars.
Yeah. The mucilin.
Yeah.
Okay.
By removing the sugars. So in fully washed, you're supposed to fully remove the sugars.
Okay.
But in naturals, now we have room to play. Like we can manipulate the sugars to help us craft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now in fermentation, now you said now the Project Origin came in, but the way before you were doing the normal processes. Now, when Project Origin, did they come to show you now the way forward? Did he came now? Sasha, did he came to show you, no, this is how you're supposed to do, this is the direction. Now we're going to have a contract, because I know you're working under Project Origin henceforth.
Yeah.
How did it go around?
So first he came to see if there's potential, to see if we can work together. Because in coffee, you need to have some form of, you need to be transparent. You need to have a good relationship. You need to be transparent. You need to know if you can trust this person that you're going to work with.
Yeah, sure.
Similarly, for me, I need to know if I can trust the market I'm sending my coffee to.
Yeah, sure.
Because
it's a two-way traffic.
Yeah, they may not have the capacity to sell out your coffee or things like that. So, or they'll buy 1 year and next year they disappear. That's an issue for a producer.
Sure. It happens.
Yeah. So he came just to see the potential first. So we clicked. We saw we had the same ideas, the same
projections.
Yeah, the same ethos of even working with the community and things like that. And then he left me with some projects, some experiments to do.
Okay.
And then I sent the samples.
Okay.
And then he saw, like your coffee can score 83, 84, 85.
Yeah.
Now if we are able to put in investment and start working together, now you're able to do much better. So we didn't work together like the first time.
Like the first time, yeah. Like so you had to prove yourself as well.
Yeah. So like a year later now is when after samples and everything.
Yeah.
Now he came back full force and we started the project we have together.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Now, what are you most proud of in your work? Since now you left the marketing side of things, what are you proud of in that farm of yours? Since you started it.
Honestly, I'm proud of the employment like we give. Like you see, we during the season we have 150 people.
150 people?
150, 140.
Employment?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's cool.
And that's like my home. That's where I was born. And so we in that small space, we have all those people who come to work and they go home. And we find that for us, we work even night shift nowadays. We process during the day and at night. So us, we work 20 hours. And you still find these people want to come back.
Whoa.
So we have to tell them, go home, sleep. And then we'll bring another team. Like we'll interchange.
Alternate.
We'll alternate. But people we're not going home.
Whoa.
So we have to force them. So you can see that there's some impact we have in the community.
Sure, in the community.
Yeah. And there's still more through our projects with Project Origin.
Yeah.
Like, we were able to help put in some infrastructure in a computer lab in the primary school in our area.
Okay.
We're able to do way much more for the community. But there's more to to me selling coffee for a few dollars. There's more to that. There's more in it than just selling the coffee.
Than just selling the whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What are the biggest challenges Kenyan coffee farmers face when trying to access global markets? Since you have already cracked the way of marketing your coffee, what are some of the other coffee farmers go through, or some of the challenges? What do you say?
Maybe they don't have control for their coffee. So if you don't have control, you can't control how much you're going to make.
Sure.
You can't control your livelihood. Coffee becomes a side hustle rather than a business.
The main business.
So even me, before I met Sasha, we still had crop to sell. We still had coffee to sell. It's flowering twice a year. We're selling twice a year. So I sold through a marketer at the time. A marketer. Okay. Now they're called brokers, a marketer.
Okay.
And we sold during the crash. So as a farmer without direct access to market, you have to rely on
brokers.
On brokers and the trend of the coffee. If the coffee goes down, you're paid low. If it's up, right now it's up. Sometimes farmers don't understand this, but right now it's up. It's not up because of the government. It's not up because of your coffee is so nice.
No.
It's up because of the trend. Right now the coffee prices are up. So it's going to reflect to the farmer and still not even fully to the farmer. So that's an issue. So you're left to be a victim of coffee prices instead of like you controlling the business.
Do you think brokers discourage farmers because they are buying cheap and all that?
I don't like getting into the politics of
Coffee.
of brokers. But to be honest, I've seen and heard of some cases.
Yes.
That people take advantage.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
How do climate change and environmental factor affect your coffee?
It's a big factor.
Yeah, it's a big factor.
It's a big factor because coffee performs best under natural conditions.
Yeah.
So even irrigation coffee may not be as good as like a coffee that's coming from good climate.
Yes.
So, for example, in 2021, we had one of our lowest productions.
In 2021, huh?
Yeah. There was a form of drought in Kenya at that time.
Yeah, sure.
And that led, of course, there's no water. There's that time we didn't have an irrigation system.
Yes, yeah.
So we are still a new estate, so we hadn't yet invested in an irrigation system. So our coffee dropped in production, dropped in quality.
It was a loss.
Yeah. So if like the grades in coffee,
yeah,
AA, AB, PB, C. So they're going down in terms of screen size. So you'd find you have most of your crop is grade C. Usually we sell AA, AB, and PB.
Sure.
Yeah, C usually could be sell or not, but if you find your bulk is in C, it's not a good year.
Wow. Are there any innovation technique you have come up with to improve your quality and yield?
To be honest, there's nothing new under the sun. So what we try to do different is our craftsmanship, our systems at the farm.
Okay.
So I have checkpoints, levels, every point to see of sorting.
Yeah.
Remember, our function is to clean the coffee.
Yeah, sure.
To make it as clean as possible and to maintain its quality from the farm as much as possible.
Yeah.
So what I saw that what I can control is to have clear systems that are followed all the time.
Yeah.
That is what is going to help us to have a good cup at the end of the day. It doesn't matter if I'm going to ferment, to do this or that, but if you don't have systems, it will never succeed.
Okay.
So for us is that we have clear systems and I have to follow and I have to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told you, we're working 20 hours. So I'll be there during
24/7.
Yeah. I'll be there during the day. I take a break, I go eat, I go to the gym, I come back. 10 p.m. I'm still there.
So you usually run your errands at Nyeri?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And 10 p.m. I'm back following them to make sure that everything is being followed. Now, those extras like fermentation are what are going to help my coffee because I've followed the systems. Okay. I'm making sure that there are no mistakes along the way. And still, we find there's some mistakes.
Yeah, sure.
But I'm following up to make sure that they're
at least they're minimal.
Yeah. But now, this year, or rather from last year, we've been experimenting a lot with nitrogen.
Okay.
And it's giving us very good results.
Nitrogen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in the help of Project Origin?
Yes.
Or?
They give us the recipes and then we implement.
Nice.
Yeah. So we've been macerating our coffees with nitrogen for certain durations.
Okay.
And all those coffees are superb. Like they're selling out when they're in the farm.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So which technique are you using to market your coffee or sell your coffee?
So legally, coffee is a highly regulated product. So
regulated product only in Kenya or what? Globally?
I can't say much because I haven't been to Brazil. I haven't been to Colombia.
Yeah, sure. Panama, but you have traveled though.
Panama, I haven't been, but I think Ethiopia is more open than Kenya.
Yeah.
But Kenya is becoming good because now there's you can do a direct sale. The farmer doesn't have to.
You're not limited.
Yeah, now it's getting better. We can say it's getting better. Let's give,
let's give flowers. Wait.
Now it's becoming much easier, unlike before. But for me, the system I follow is because I'm producing coffees that I want to also mill myself.
Okay.
I could produce a nano lot of 2 bags. If you take it to a commercial miller, you're wasting his time.
Yeah, sure.
He's going to bulk it and he won't treat it well.
Yeah.
So I'm working as a grower miller in the new regulations.
Yeah.
So a grower miller will produce their own coffee, process their own coffee, mill their own coffee, and market their own coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I had to purchase a small huller and a small grader.
Mm-hmm.
So we do everything. We control all our lots. So that's how we're able to...
Micro lots.
Yeah. Micro lots, nano lots. We're able to separate everything.
Okay.
To keep everything aside by variety.
Yeah, sure.
So it's also helping us in the market.
Oh, nice. And where do you see the future of Kenyan coffee in the global market? Now, since you have already tapped into the global market, where do you see the global market? Where do we see our Kenyan coffee?
Kenyan coffee unfortunately was dwindling. Was going down.
Yeah, sure.
In terms of quality.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And you know, there are many factors for that.
Yeah.
Real estate is taking over.
Okay.
So, of course, people are opting to go into real estate as compared to
farming coffee. Yeah.
I think return on investment for that is much...
way better and quicker.
I think. I'm not sure. So that's a factor.
Okay.
So that there's somebody online, I forget, Christopher someone.
Yeah.
He wrote an article on the fall of Kenyan coffee. And it's good you try find him online, read it,
I'll try.
and you understand why Christopher someone. I don't know if it's... I'll share it with you, and then maybe you can link it somewhere.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying this to say Kenyan coffee is bad. I'm saying it because there's a certain trajectory that we have to change.
Yes.
But we're also finding youth coming into coffee now.
Yeah, young people.
Yeah. I being one of them, but soon I may not be.
The new wave. But soon,
Soon I may not be a youth anymore. I'm growing older.
Okay.
But we have a lot of people going back to the farms now.
Yeah, sure.
So there will be more funky stuff, more exciting Kenyan coffees.
Yeah.
Our quantity may not...
Can we say we are at our prime? We're getting to our prime?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
Our quantity may not be what it was in the 80s.
Yes, sure.
But there's going to be more exciting stuff from Kenya.
Unique stuff.
Yeah.
All right. If you could change one thing about the coffee industry in Kenya, what would it be?
It's a good question. I haven't thought of that.
Give it a try.
If I could change one thing
in the coffee industry, what would it be?
Mindset. Every farmer thinks that that's for farmers.
Yes.
Every farmer thinks that...
Yeah, tell the farmers over there.
That's... Every farmer thinks that when I do what this successful person is doing, it's going to work for me. Yet our conditions are different.
Yeah.
You may be my neighbor, but our souls are different.
You will get successful differently.
So we need to understand that we can be successful, but differently.
In a different way.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I have a lot of farmers who want to come learn from me.
Okay.
And I feel it was... At first, I used to accommodate it, but it became draining.
Yeah.
Because I'll show you. And I know you won't gain from it.
You won't do anything.
Yeah. And it's taking a lot of my time, and I don't like wasting time.
Yeah.
So people need to learn that what is working for me will not work for you.
Yeah, sure. So what would you give advice to young people interested in coffee farming?
Any young person interested in farming coffee, you need to put in the work. It's not a side hustle.
You need to get that in your work.
Yeah. If you want it to be a side hustle, maybe you have a good job.
Yeah.
And you want farming as a side hustle.
Yeah.
Take your coffee and give it to a cooperative, a factory.
To run it
for you. Like that's my advice. That's what I always keep telling myself. If one day I'm too busy or something else is taking my time, I would rather give it to a factory, somebody else to process it for me. if it's a side hustle. If you want to do it as a business,
Okay.
you need to leave Nairobi.
Just go to up countries.
Yeah. Go to where the farm is.
Yes.
Your farm could be in Nairobi anyway. But just go to where the farm is. I've seen people with farms in Nairobi. Yeah. Go to where the farm is, stay there, build a business.
Okay.
Because it's possible to build a business around coffee.
And most of that do with baristas, especially in Kenya. Let's start with Martin Shabaya. They've been using your coffee in the world stage for competition. What does that feel?
It's a humbling experience to have someone like even Martin Shabaya to trust our coffee.
Yes.
To trust that I would give him the coffee that I told him I would.
Disappoint.
You know this thing, that this Martin Shabaya's jump to number 5 in the world.
Yeah.
Didn't start in a day.
Yeah, it was a progress.
Yeah. So he must have gone. I think he went there severally. He's shown me his videos of his first performance.
Apparently, he'll be the next guest over here with us.
He's shown me his videos. So you can see this guy has put in the work.
Yeah, sure.
And I need people to understand that a barista competition is not a coffee competition.
Repeat that again.
A barista competition is not a coffee competition.
Yes.
So for Martin Shabaya to get where he was, he put in a lot of work.
Yeah.
It didn't matter the coffee that he
years
went
after
with.
years after years of trying.
Yeah. So for him for us to start the conversation, we said before he went before he went to Milan.
Yeah.
We had started the connection way before, like a year and a half before.
He's a good friend to Sasha as well.
Yeah. Actually, he met Sasha before me. So Sasha introduced Martin to me. Funny enough. So we said that like way before.
Yes.
So I'm really humbled that he trusted that my coffee would still perform.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like I'm going to say it again. It was all his efforts, like nothing to do with us.
What's your go-to coffee when you go to a coffee shop?
I don't go to. When I go to a coffee shop, I won't take the coffee.
You don't take coffee?
Unless like I know it's going to be good coffee.
Be serious, David.
If I go somewhere and I know it's a commercial place, like I won't take time to take the coffee.
So you won't even drink the coffee?
I won't.
Oh my
unless like I am really struggling with lack of caffeine.
Yes.
Which I do sometimes. I'll just have an espresso. Blindly, and I don't know.
From Nescafe?
No, that's where I draw the line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you won't get anything from. Anyway, I don't know.
So when you go to a place whereby now they're doing specialty coffee, which process do you go? Which method do you usually?
Filter. I love filter.
Filter coffee?
Yeah.
Which one specifically?
V60.
V60.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or whatever they have, as long as it's filter. And I know they're going to serve good coffee. Honestly, it's whatever they have.
There's a coffee shop I went and drank your coffee. Let me tell you, David, you have nice coffee.
Thank you.
Oh my God. I had to pay again to have the second. A V60 actually. It was tasty, fruity. Oh my God.
Thank you.
Anyway, thank you so much for being here with us. You're our first guest in our first episode. And we are looking forward to have more guests in our podcast. It's our Coffee Chats. So I'm really thankful to have you on board. So hopefully it will be a big thing whereby we shall be exchanging coffee conversation with the people. So thank you so much. What do you have to say about Coffee Chats?
Well, thank you for having me.
Okay.
As the first guest.
Yeah.
We spoke about it as a joke a while back.
Yeah, I've been telling you back to back.
Yeah, and you remembered to invite me, so thank you.
Thank you so much. Asanteni sana.
Humbled by the experience.
Thank you so much for being with us and being part of this podcast. Looking forward to have you over here on board as well to talk about coffee and educate people about coffee and tell stories about coffee. And ciao. See you next time.